Ancient redwoods, steady tides, patient marine life, and a lighthouse that has survived countless storms, all offering a quiet reminder that the world is stable, watchful, and kind enough to hold you while you rest. This is what you will experience in tonight's sleepy adventure in Crescent City, California, along the Pacific Northwest coastline. Welcome to the Whispering Willow. I am Diana, and it's my pleasure to be the one who guides you through tonight's sleep story and meditation. I am here to remind you that each evening when you finish with the day's tasks and settle in at home, it is okay to take a break, let go, and relax. In fact, rest and relaxation are necessary for us to function at full capacity and be there for those we love tomorrow. So get comfortable, settle in, and prepare yourself to relax to the sound of waves crashing against the coastal shoreline as you drift to sleep. Begin by settling into stillness. Let your body rest exactly as it is. Perhaps your arms alongside you or gently folded atop your abdomen or heart, wherever they feel most comfortable. When you're ready, close your eyes. Notice the quiet sensation of touch where your hands rest, the subtle warmth, and if they're on your torso, the gentle rise and fall beneath your palms. Tonight's story will focus on the security of knowing you are held and supported, physically and emotionally, by the world around you. So bring your awareness to the surface supporting you now. Feel how completely it holds you. No effort required. Nothing you must maintain in order for this to happen. Allow yourself to be fully supported in this moment, letting go. There is nowhere else you need to be, nothing waiting on you. This time is simply for rest, for restoration, for letting the day soften around the edges and turn to fog. Turn your attention to your breathing, observing the natural rhythm of inhale and exhale, steady and automatic. Your body already knows how to do this. Then, if it feels comfortable, invite the breath to deepen slightly. Inhale slowly through your nose to a gentle count of 4. Let there be a small, easy pause at the top. Then exhale through your mouth for a count of 6, unhurried and smooth. Try this deeper, more intentional breathing again 2 more times. As you inhale, focus on drawing in peace, calmness, and relaxation. As you exhale, focus on releasing any tension, anxiety, or thoughts about today or tomorrow, focusing only on this moment. Thoughts may still appear, and that's perfectly okay. Simply notice them and let them pass, like clouds drifting across a wide evening sky, never needing to hold your attention. Allow your breath to return to its own easy rhythm now. Notice your shoulders dropping, your jaw unclenching, the tiny muscles around your eyes softening. Feel a sense of calm spreading gently through you. Steady, reassuring, safe. And as this calm continues to deepen, we can begin our story together. Crescent City, California, located along the far northern coast near the Oregon border, began as a Native American settlement before European Americans arrived in the early 1850s during the gold rush. Established as a shipping and supply hub for nearby mining operations, it was officially incorporated in 1854, with the historic Battery Point Lighthouse completed in 1856 to guide maritime trade. Timber and fishing later became key industries, and the town remains closely tied to nearby redwood forests and coastal resources. I grew up in the Pacific Northwest and enjoyed each visit to this area of the far northern coastline because the ocean here is so different from the Southern California coastline or the coastal states of the southern United States. Where other coastlines are warm and sandy, this area is often cold, and the coastline is covered with jagged, rocky cliffs, several large rocks jutting out of the ocean a good distance from the shore. It has a feeling of strength and solidity mixed with a little danger and excitement. Some people still venture into the water, though a wetsuit is almost always needed. Even in summer, ocean temperatures along this part of the Pacific Northwest coast typically hover in the low to mid-50s, a steady reminder of the deep Pacific currents that shape this place. It isn't usually a swimming beach in the traditional sense, but rather a shoreline for watching, breathing, reflecting, for listening to waves crash against rock, feeling the cool air on your skin, and letting the vastness of the ocean put everything else gently into perspective. Just south of Crescent City, tall trees meet the sea at Del Norte Coast Redwood State Park. And Mill Creek Campground is the perfect base camp for exploring this remote 8-mile swath of coastline. With up to 100 inches of rain each year, these North Coast parks grow the tallest trees in the world. They also protect 45% of Earth's last remaining old-growth redwood forests. This is where you'll find yourself as we start our journey. It is mid-afternoon, and you are hiking casually along the Damnation Creek Trail. It is that time in March when the coastal weather lies somewhere between winter and spring. The temperature is in the low 50s, but the sun came out in the late morning and burned off the fog. The air feels warm and welcome on your skin, though it's definitely not hot. You are wearing shorts, a long-sleeved shirt, a windbreaker jacket, a knit cap on your head, and hiking boots with thick socks. The air here often carries a light ocean breeze, sometimes gentle, sometimes brisk, so some type of jacket is always a good idea. You take a deep breath and notice the clean, slightly salty scent that mixes with the earthy fragrance of nearby redwoods, damp soil, and the coastal vegetation. The light itself tends to be soft rather than harsh. Though the sun has dispelled most of the fog, it is not uncommon to have a lingering marine haze or thin cloud layer filtering the sun, giving the landscape a muted, silvery quality. Even on sunny days, the cliffs, sea stacks, and dark evergreen forest create a sense of cool shade and grounded calm. You'll often hear steady surf below, seabirds calling intermittently, and wind moving through the grasses near the bluff's edge. Overall, the mid-afternoon feels fresh, grounded, and quietly expansive, comfortable for hiking, but slightly chilly when standing still. The trail along Damnation Creek begins quietly, almost modestly, just a narrow path slipping away from the roadside and into the trees. As you take your final steps downward, the sounds of the highway fade quickly. Redwood trunks rise around you, tall and patient, their bark textured and dark, their presence grounding, secure, almost as though you are a worshiper within a grand cathedral. Ferns spread wide beneath them, softening the forest floor, and filtered light drifts down in shifting patterns. The descent begins gently, almost politely, as if inviting you rather than demanding anything. Your footing finds a natural rhythm, step by step, breath by breath. You feel no need to hurry here. The trail itself seems to encourage slowing down and observing. A curved route across the path, the quiet drip of moisture from moss overhead, the distant, barely audible suggestion of surf somewhere far below. Gradually, the slope becomes more pronounced. You notice it not as strain, but as a gentle settling into gravity's pull as the earth carries you downward. Wooden steps appear in places, helping guide the way, their edges softened by time and weather. Each one feels like a small reassurance. The path is well traveled, well cared for, and venerable. The air shifts as you descend. It grows slightly cooler, more ocean-touched. That faint hint of salt becomes clearer now, mingled with the deep, clean scent of the vegetation and soil. Somewhere overhead, a bird calls once, then again before the forest returns to its quiet. And then, almost without noticing exactly when it happened, the sound of the ocean begins to separate itself from the silence. At first, it's just a low murmur, steady and distant. Then a rhythmic hush, followed by a soft crash, then another. The waves are still unseen, but they make their presence known long before you reach them. The trail continues downward, winding through thicker growth now. Salal bushes edge the path. Grasses begin to replace some of the ferns. Light brightens ahead, in a way that suggests openness, sky waiting just beyond the trees. You pause here briefly, not out of fatigue, but simply to take in the transition between the forest behind you and the ocean ahead. That in-between space that feels both grounding and quietly anticipatory, just like the season. As you continue down the trail, the final stretch grows steeper. Steps become more frequent. The earth feels looser underfoot, sand beginning to mix with soil. The sound of the surf is unmistakable now. Full, rhythmic, steady, waves meeting rock in their timeless conversation. And then the trees part, and the shoreline opens wide before you. Not a sandy beach, but a rugged, textured meeting of land and sea. Large sea stacks stand offshore like ancient sentinels, unmoving despite the constant motion around them. The tide is low enough to reveal rocky shelves and tide pools, scattered like mirrors across the stone. You make your way across the rocks, being careful to find stable footing. The ocean air brushes your face cool and clean. Waves roll in steadily, cresting, breaking against the formations with a deep, soothing cadence, not harsh. The sea breeze is briny and crisp, with hints of the verdant forest you just left lingering in the air. As you breathe it in, it carries the quiet ache of centuries, the souls of those who have stood at the water's edge before you, hopeful, grieving, watching the line where sky meets sea, trusting the sea to give back what it has taken. Looking down, the tide pools reveal small, quiet worlds of their own. Clear water cradled in stone, reflecting the sky above, while sheltering tiny sea life below. As you examine them closer, you notice how naturally protected they are, cradled in the curves and hollows of the rock. The same waves that crash with such force just beyond them arrive here softened, filtered, reduced to a quiet ripple. These small pools don't resist the ocean, yet they aren't overwhelmed by it either. They simply rest where the stone holds them, secure within boundaries shaped over centuries. This idea feels quietly reassuring to you, a reminder that being held doesn't mean being cut off from the world. It means being supported within it. Just like these tide pools, you can remain connected to everything around you while still feeling contained, steady, and safe. The solid rock beneath them doesn't demand anything. It simply offers structure, a place where water can settle, where life can exist in calm balance. And as you watch the surface of the water barely stir, you can imagine that same kind of support beneath you now. Something steady, dependable, allowing you to rest without effort. Nothing you need to prove, nothing you need to manage. Just the quiet, experience of being held exactly as you are in this moment. You sit down on a large, smooth rock for a moment, just breathing, watching the horizon where the gray-blue ocean meets the blue sky with wisps of white cirrus clouds. The wind moves gently here, not insistent, just enough to remind you of the vastness surrounding you. You listen carefully and hear the sound of the crashing waves and the seagulls call above you. There's a feeling in this place, not danger exactly, though the power of the ocean is overwhelming to think about, but a steady strength, a sense that everything here has found its balance over time. Rock shaped by wave, wave guided by moon and tide, forest above, shoreline below, each belonging fully to itself while still remaining connected to each other. And sitting here, even briefly, you're allowed to belong too. No expectations, no performance, just presence. The waves continue their rhythm, in and out, rising and settling, a natural breath shared between ocean and shore. You relax here for a long time before you stand, walk back to your vehicle, and travel along the coastal highway to your next stop, Ocean World Aquarium. Ocean World is a relatively small, cozy aquarium that focuses on local marine life from the Northern California coast. It is mostly indoors but has large windows and some open-air viewing areas that give it a sense of connection to the surrounding landscape. Many tanks are designed to mimic the natural habitats of local tide pools, rocky shores, and coastal waters. The early evening has settled over Crescent City, and the usual bustle of the town is fading into silence as you arrive at the aquarium. You have a friend who has arranged for you to have a private tour of the space after the doors have closed to patrons, and they have encouraged you to wander anywhere you'd like. The lights are dimmed low, giving just enough light to catch the soft shimmer of water in the tanks. You step lightly along the quiet pathways, noticing the gentle echoes of distant waves and the occasional, almost ghostly call of a far-off seal. A warm hush surrounds you as you approach the touch and feel tide pool. This is an interactive, shallow tank where visitors can gently handle certain marine creatures in a safe, controlled way. Your fingers brush over smooth, cool shells, then dip gently into the water. Tiny creatures stir under your touch, a slow, deliberate world unfolding beneath your fingertips. You linger, exploring each nook with careful curiosity, the minutes stretching gently around you. Across the room, the seals and sea lions lie scattered on their rocks, eyes half closed. There is no performance here, no clamor for attention, just quiet contentment. Their bodies rise and fall with soft, steady breaths, entirely at ease. You find yourself slowing your own rhythm to match theirs, your shoulders loosening, your mind settling. Time feels soft, unmeasured, as if the aquarium itself has decided to pause. The water lapping gently against the edges of the tanks, the faint scent of salt, the low hum of life beneath the surface. All of it invites you to mirror the stillness. You rest in this shared ease, letting your own thoughts float gently away, carried by the calm pulse of the ocean world around you. And in this moment, you are held by the quiet, by the slow contentment of creatures who need nothing but the present. You can simply be here, just as you are, unhurried, unneeded, entirely at peace. Your friend walks up to you quietly, touching you on the shoulder and asking if you would like to touch one of the seals. You tell them that you would love that, and they lead you over to a small platform on the backside of the rocky seal enclosure. Your friend pats the platform once, and one of the seals jumps out of the water and slides across the slick platform, stopping just in front of you both. The seal's coat glistens in the soft light, and you can feel the warmth and smoothness beneath your fingertips as you reach out tentatively, your friend encouraging you to stick out your hand, palm up, just beneath the seal's nose. You do so, and your friend gestures. Then the seal stretches out its head and rests its chin lightly against your palm, unhurried and calm, as if inviting you into its world of ease and quiet curiosity, completely trusting. You can feel the warm moisture of its breath, and you gently caress one side of its mouth with your thumb. With another gesture from your friend, the seal slides off the platform and is gone beneath the water, leaping up in the air to perform one loop for you before you leave, splashing down into the water, causing you to smile with delight. You thank your friend and continue your exploration of the aquarium, pausing at one of the main tanks, letting your eyes adjust to the soft, watery light. Fish drift slowly among the rocks and swaying kelp, their movements almost dreamlike. A rockfish glides past with quiet confidence, while a broad-headed cabezon rests easily on the sandy bottom, perfectly content to simply be. The water carries a hush of its own, a muted rhythmic stillness, and as you watch, your breathing naturally slows, matching the calm pulse of this underwater world. There is nowhere to rush, nothing to do, only this gentle, drifting moment. Before you leave, you walk into the gift shop to find a small souvenir to commemorate your visit. The gift shop is quiet and empty, except for a young girl working behind the counter, preparing to close for the evening. You ask her if there is time for you to look around, and she tells you to take your time, as she still has several things to do. You notice a small seal made of light blue ceramic resting on a wooden shelf, its smooth curves matching the soft evening light. You pick it up carefully, feeling its cool weight in your hand, admiring the gentle, peaceful expression shaped into its face. It feels like a simple reminder of the calm you've just experienced. Something small to carry home, a symbol of ease, the slow water, and a world that moves with a steady, quiet certainty. You take the small trinket to the cashier, and she wraps it in tissue paper, placing it in a small white box with a blue and silver Ocean World Aquarium sticker holding the lid closed. You pay for the souvenir, thank her, and leave the aquarium. As you step outside, you notice twilight is settling in, the harbor lights flickering on, and you realize you'd better get to your lodging before the night turns dark. Your friend has arranged for something special, a quiet overnight stay at Battery Point Lighthouse, and you arrive just as the tide has begun to recede. This lighthouse sits on a small rocky island just offshore, and the only way to reach it on foot is during low tide, when the sea briefly reveals a sandy pathway across the beach. The air is cool but gentle, carrying the scent of salt and kelp. The horizon glows softly as evening settles in, and the ocean seems to breeze slowly beside you. You step onto the wide stretch of damp sand, each footfall quiet, cushioned. The tide has pulled back enough to expose rippled patterns in the sand, tiny pools of water reflecting the dimming sky like scattered mirrors. Walking toward the lighthouse feels almost like stepping into another time. The building itself rises gradually into view. A sturdy white structure topped with a lantern room, simple and strong against the vastness of the Pacific. It isn't towering like some famous lighthouses, but it has a grounded, enduring presence, as though it belongs exactly where it stands. There's a garden area next to the lighthouse underneath a lovely old tree. This time of year, though, most of the plants have tucked themselves away in dormancy, waiting for calmer temperatures. The lighthouse has been guiding ships since the mid-1800s, quietly enduring more than a century and a half of storms, fog, and crashing surf. Winter gales have battered its walls. Waves have surged high against the rocks. Yet it remains solid, calm, dependable, a steady light through changing seasons. As you continue across the sand, the rhythmic sound of the surf grows fuller. Water curls gently along the edges of the exposed pathway, reminding you that this crossing exists only for a little while. There's something comforting about that, moving with the natural timing of the tide rather than against it. It makes you feel a part of the timelessness that surrounds you. Your steps slow naturally. There's no rush here, just the soft hush of wind causing you to pull your jacket a little tighter around you. The distant cry of seabirds settling for the night, and the steady pulse of the ocean beside you. Soon the sand gives way to rockier ground near the lighthouse island. You step carefully, feeling the firm texture beneath your shoes. The building stands close now, its white exterior faintly glowing in the evening light, windows warm with a welcoming glow from inside. The door opens easily, and someone has prepared everything. As you step inside, a gentle warmth greets you. A fire is already burning in the main living space. The soft crackle of the flames fills the room, blending beautifully with the distant sound of waves outside. The light from the fire dances across wooden floors and simple furnishings, creating a sense of cozy comfort. Nothing here feels hurried, modern, or demanding. It feels preserved, peaceful, steady, and timeless. You pause just inside the doorway, letting the warmth soak in. The lighthouse interior is modest but inviting. Thick walls, sturdy beams, windows positioned to watch both sea and sky. It feels like a refuge built not just for safety, but for quiet living. You set your bag down, take off your jacket, and wander slowly through the space. The kitchen is small but charming. Simple counters, a sturdy table, a kettle waiting for tea. A wooden table for two sits just beneath a small window with white lace curtains. A pot of your favorite warm meal has been prepared for you. Everything suggests practicality softened by care. You can imagine keepers here decades ago, preparing meals between foggy watches, listening to the same ocean sounds you hear now. Nearby, a cozy bedroom waits. The bed looks welcoming, layered with soft blankets. A lamp casts a warm circle of light, and the window offers a glimpse of the darkening sea beyond. It already feels like a place where sleep will come easily. But first, you return to the main room, drawn again to the fire and the food. You settle into a comfortable chair with a bowl of the hot meal and a steaming cup of mint tea, allowing your body to relax fully. The flames from the fireplace move slowly, hypnotically. Outside, waves roll steadily against the rocks below the lighthouse. Not loud or harsh, just a continuous, soothing presence. Each wave arrives, releases, and retreats like a long, calming breath. There is something deeply reassuring about being here, separated from the mainland but not isolated. This lighthouse has faced countless storms, fierce winds, towering waves, thick fog, and a tsunami that nearly destroyed Crescent City. Yet inside this space has always offered steadiness, shelter, light, guidance. And tonight, it offers you rest. You notice how your breathing naturally syncs with the ocean's rhythm. In, slow and easy. Out, just as gently. No effort required. The fire continues its quiet conversation with the room, small pops and crackles blending with the ocean's distant hush. Together, they create a layered calm, warmth inside, vastness outside. Eventually, you feel your eyes growing heavy, and you are ready for sleep. You move into the bedroom, the old wooden floor creaking gently beneath your steps. You brush your teeth, wash your face, and change into your coziest night clothes. The bed welcomes you immediately as you settle in, blankets thick, cozy, and comforting. The room holds a peaceful stillness, interrupted only by the steady presence of the sea. It smells of moisture, air, and time. You turn off the lamp and allow darkness to settle softly, though never completely. There's a faint glow outside the window that suggests moonlight on the water and the quiet reassurance of the lighthouse lantern above. And there's a dim golden hue to the walls coming from the fireplace in the living room. Lying there, you listen, waves rolling against rock, wind brushing gently along the walls, the faint creak of a historic building at rest, all of it steady, all of it calm. You imagine the lighthouse standing through decades of nights just like this. Storms and clear skies, countless tides coming and going. Its purpose has always been simple: to shine, to guide, to endure. And tonight it simply holds you solid and secure. Your muscles loosen, your thoughts drift slower, softer. There's nothing you need to do, nowhere you need to go. The tide will rise again in its own time. Morning will come gently when it's ready. For now, you can rest. Let the sound of the waves carry you. Let the warmth of the lighthouse surround you. Let sleep arrive naturally like the tide, unforced, inevitable, peaceful. And as you drift closer to sleep, the ocean continues its quiet rhythm below, steady and patient, keeping watch while you rest. Good night.